Hi friends. There is a big difference between what is possible and what I or you are currently capable of at this point. And realizing that there's a big difference between those two things can be a very powerful tool. I used to create, well, and I still do, but I used to create limitations for myself by imagining that things that I wasn't currently capable of, that things that were not currently in my world, in my experience, were just impossible altogether. I created a lot of artificial ceilings and barriers and limits on what can happen in this life, what could happen, what could come into my world. And as I've begun to identify those and reframe it and realize that there is a lot that is possible, and it might be true that I'm not currently capable of something, but we as humans have the opportunity to increase in our capabilities. It's wonderful. It's awesome. Unless, of course, you don't realize that and then you live with limitations. So, for example, this was a fun one to hear. My colleague has a herniated disc. If you're familiar with that, if you know someone who has a bulge disc or a herniation, you might have heard that it's painful, that it can cause nerve pain, pinch a nerve, spinal nerve, and they can have pain down their leg or in their back, and it can be excruciating. And also, a lot of people view it as impossible, that there's no treatment unless you have surgery. But actually, so for anyone who's not familiar, your spinal column has donuts, has discs in between each vertebrae, in between the bones, and they're kind of like a jelly donut. So they've got connective tissue creating a ring, and then inside there is pretty jelly, very squishy, and that creates little shock absorbers in your spine in between each vertebrae. And that jelly donut can rupture, and the jelly can squeeze out, and when it squeezes out, it'll push on a nerve. Anyway, so my colleague has a herniation, but he's learned how to suck the jelly back in just with his body, with stretching and moving. So that's possible. That's a fun one because that's not well known, fascial and Aldoa stretches. So if he starts to bulge or herniate, he can do Aldoa stretches to help increase space there and help suck the jelly back in. So that's a great one. I grew up with flat feet and was told by lots of medical professionals that they were permanently flat and it was not fixable. It took me over a decade, but I have learned that unless you have a bone deformity, it is possible to fix your flat feet. And I have. And I'm still finishing it, so it still has some strengthening to do until it's fully stable. But okay, so here are some more things that, and you can listen in for yourself if you have them in the list of possible or impossible. Processing the death of a pet or loved one quickly. It is possible, depending on what your current capabilities are and what your current skill level is in processing and self-parenting and processing emotions and experiences. Clearing your mind. Either right before you go to bed, you want to have a calm mind so you can relax and fall asleep, or just during the day. It is possible to be able to calm your mind no matter what experience you're in, even in a dangerous experience. That's possible. Anyone's current capability, whatever their current skill level is, will be different, but it is possible. Having enough money to cover your needs, provide for your needs. Do you have that categorized as possible or impossible? Expressing love easily, doing a backflip, overcoming old habits or family patterns, living in a state of healthy balance, great emotional health, self-empowerment, and safety. Let's see, I have another one on here. Feeling comfortable around people. These are all things that different, depending on who you are, you might have them categorized in possible and that you're highly capable of having that, or it's possible and you've only tasted a little bit. For example, someone who maybe experienced a lot of abuse or even sexual abuse might have, their body might have a trauma response to being around males of any kind. So for them, they might not believe or feel that it would be possible to feel really comfortable and self-empowered and safe around males, but it is possible if they go through the healing journey and increase their capabilities. Also being able to hear your own internal compass, having a calm mind and being able to hear and interpret your own internal guidance system is possible. So I just want to challenge you, offer a challenge to you today to be aware and notice where you have self-imposed limitations and barriers, what you believe is not possible just because you're currently not capable of it. Humans are amazingly equipped to increase capability in any arena, any level, even arenas that you've never dealt in before. Say you didn't grow up around anyone who had healthy communication. They would just silent treatment, ignore, swallow, communicate angrily, forcefully, violently, and never vulnerably or safe. So you might have never even experienced what that's like yet, but it's still possible for you. It would require gaining capabilities and practicing and growing skills in that area, but it absolutely is possible. Having enough money to provide for your needs and your wants, even if you haven't never experienced it yet, it is still possible. You might not have the capabilities and the skills of attracting, earning money, keeping money, money management, budgeting, assessing priorities, but those you can increase in those capabilities and skills. What's another one? Being healthy, free of disease, free of excess weight, basically anything you can think of. There's a chance that your boundary or your ceiling or limit could use some boosting. I know I definitely have, and I still have more to do there, but it is quite fun to listen to my internal dialogue or what I say and how I talk about different topics and things. What my internal and unconscious perspective is on it. If I believe it's impossible, or if I believe it's possible, or if I have the capabilities, or if I even know what capabilities would be needed. All right, so have fun with that. Noticing where your self-imposed limitations are, and it is wonderful, and I can just share my experience that this world is filled with so much more possibility and potential than I had ever realized. I just didn't have the eyes to see it because I was kind of blocked by a lot of my limitations. But really, you have a million opportunities, a million possibilities in every moment, and in every arena, in every category of life, and in every topic. But we got to let go of our old limitations and allow for more. So a fun thing I like to do, even if I currently am holding a belief of doubt, so say I'm really inflexible and I want to have a healthy, flexible body that's not overly tight. Even if I've never experienced that before, and even if I have some beliefs opposing it, and while you're holding beliefs that doubt, it'll be hard to feel the possibility or feel hope that actually I could become flexible. I like to use the word possible. That's a really good way to start shifting your limiting beliefs of, do I think it's possible that I could one day be flexible and not stiff and tight? And yeah, that's a really good way, because in that moment I might not believe I can, or that it's likely, or that I will soon. But possible is a very powerful word. So if you find yourself having a hard time, a part of you isn't believing like that I could move out of this bad habit into a better habit, or I could move out of this this issue with money into abundance. You try the word possible. Do I think it's possible? And that will start shifting things for you. All right, have a good day, guys.